Hi, good afternoon, parents of Desert Heights. I am Mrs. Miller. I am the school principal, and I wanted to walk you through a little bit about how to look at your child's grades. At the K-4 campus, we do standards-based grading. Before we get into what your child's grades look like for quarter one and also session one for specials, I wanted to reiterate that we have obviously been through a lot the last year and a half. So please do not expect super high grades from your students. We all know that they are catching up academically right now. And so one of the reasons that we do standards-based grading is so that teachers can see really granular data to determine what gaps might exist in your children's learning and how we can fill them with our interventions, our tutoring opportunities, and the things that we're doing in the classroom. So small group instruction, things like that. So I am sharing my screen with you, and I am in ParentVue, which you can access through the school website if you don't know how to access it, or the app on your phone. Once you sign in, you'll select which student you want to view grades for. And I have selected my kindergarten student, sorry, she's now in first grade, oh my goodness, my first grade student, but I'm going to show you how I'll access what is needed. When you go to the home, you'll see announcements and things happening for your child, but you'll want to go down to Gradebook. And you can view your child's gradebook from the view of assignments and from the view of standards. So let me just widen our screen a little bit. For this session, my daughter happens to be in music class. So you're going to see there's a session for music that is actually session 2, and grades are showing differently for our specialty classes. So I'll go into that in just a moment. But let's go ahead and look at her quarter 1 language arts grades. So it says no data, but that's because we're doing standards-based grading. So it's not an overall percent grade. You're going to click on quarter 1. And I'm looking at language arts. This is where I can see all of the assignments that have been entered in her grade book for this quarter. Okay. So obviously from August through October. Now, if you click on, we have this assignment called Our Trip to the Farm. And this was in language arts on October 5th. If you click on See Standards, this will tell you what English standards are we assessing on this particular assignment. So did the child use end punctuation for sentences? And her indicator on this is a 65.44%. So that's in the approaching category. If we look at capitalization for dates and names of people, and this know and apply phonics and word analysis skills in decoding 1-syllable or 2-syllable words, she's in the 75% range. So she's proficient in those two. This one, describe people, places, things, and events with relevant details expressing ideas and feelings clearly. This one she scored 100% on, which means that every opportunity she had to show knowledge of this, she did it correctly and independently. So, and then if we go back, I can do this for every assignment that occurred within the quarter. And then when you look at your child's report card, you're going to see that they are showing the overall standards mastery in each specific standards category. So like English, it would be for literature, for informational text, those sorts of things. So they aren't here yet, but this is where you would then view the report card if you clicked here. And I can see that in quarter 1, this is the overall proficiency level for each of these categories. And like I said, a 4 is the child is able to do it every single time without support independently to a high standard. The 3 is the child gets this skill most of the time independently and sometimes with a little support from an adult. The 2 would be that the child is not quite independent on that skill yet. And then a 1, the child has not mastered that skill and needs a lot of support. Okay, so when we're talking about sessions, and I mentioned that for specials, it's a little bit different. And this is because we created 5 sessions for specials. We did this so they would have the same special every day and they could build their knowledge of those contents so that they are able to have it 8 weeks in a row instead of having it every 5th day. So it just seemed a little bit better for them and a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and move back over to the grade book. Excuse me. kind of learning how to do this screen sharing thing. Okay, so back over to the grade book, and we have up here, you'll see this is a different grading period because it's those 5 sessions. So you don't see specialty grades on the report card just yet. You'll see them at the end of the year, all 5 of them. So like I said, my daughter happens to be in music class right now this session too. But in session 1, she was actually in technology. So I'm going to click over to session 1, and I will see that her technology grade overall was an 80% or a B. And here is the point value of that. And if I have questions about what assignments made up this score, I clicked on that. I'm going to go back just a second. I did click on that 8-week or 8W1, and it opened this for me. And I can see for technology, these are the things that made up her grade. So she had a final. She was graded for her behavior and effort. She had a midterm and a pre-assessment, but the pre-assessment said that it was not for grading because that's just for the teacher to understand how she is doing. I hope this was helpful. And like I said, you'll be able to, and here's another way that you can look at it too. You could go back to quarter 1, which is going to show you all of the other grades except for specials. So if we go back, this is the English language arts, but I can click here and move to math if I would like. And here again are the assignments for math. Now let's say I want to look at the end of module. This means the whole unit, everything she was assessed on for the whole math unit. It's going to show me standard by standard in math, her performance. And then, like I said, you can switch back and forth between those sessions, which is the specialty grades, versus the rest of the grades within those quarters. And at the end of the year, the report card will be completely done, meaning that you'll see all of the grades for the quarters and the sessions and the performance overall. One other thing I wanted to show you is somewhat new this year, and it did take the place of Class Dojo. So it is a work in progress, but we are partway in, and I think we're getting a good handle on it. It is called MTSS. MTSS stands for Multi-Tiered Systems of Support, and it refers to both academic support and behavioral support or social emotional support. So moving into next year, we're going to be looking at that more academic side, and you'll see the academic stuff in MTSS. But our goal for this year has been using it to help us replace Class Dojo that we used last year for how are the kids doing with following directions and some of the behavior goals we have in class. So if you look here, we have 3 different things going on. She's in Miss Rubio's homeroom class, and that's where she gets her English, her math, science, social studies. And then there's school points. Anyone can issue those at the school. And then music. So this is the specialty teacher that she has, and then the teacher she has for all the rest of her courses. The behavior points that are happening here, she's earned 8 points with her homeroom teacher. And overall school points, this is these 2 combined. So she has 11 total. She can use those for school points if she wants. And then others have given her points here too. So it could be lunch staff, could be the bus driver, could be anybody. Maybe they see her doing something awesome on campus. These points are cashed in, and Miss Rubio has her own classroom store. Miss Lyons has her own classroom store. Then we have a school store. So let me scroll down a little bit and show you what they can use their points for. Here are some reward store options, maybe some money for the concession stand or an athletic event. A dress down, this is a prep one. We have formal days on Wednesday, so they could use those for dress down, turning in an assignment late. And over here at the charter, there's things like the school store up here in the front office, which has like pencils and howling gear, bracelets, things like that. And in the classroom, I know that Miss Rubio has what she calls desk pets, and you can buy the desk pet, but then you can buy all the accessories for it. And maybe even they can choose to use points to sit in the teacher's chair for the day. So there's all different kinds of things happening, just like we were doing with Dojo, those of you who were with us last year. Okay, so just a real quick, brief summary of what I shared today. We have in ParentVue, these are the menu of options for what you can do to see information regarding your child. There's the messages, which shows you anything you need to know, notifications, and then the calendar showing school events, attendance, all of those things. So, but today we wanted to talk more about gradebook and how you can view by standards and view by assignment. And then real quick went over MTSS and those behavior points. So that's something you as a parent are going to want to continue to look at and have conversations with your children about. Hey, you know, I saw that you got some positive points today. I wonder what you earned those points for. Can you tell me more about that? So make sure that you're talking to your students about that. All right, and parent-teacher conferences are coming up at the K-4 campus as well on October 29th, and then the first week of November. So at the beginning of the session, I explained that we don't want to be too hard on the kids about how they are doing academically. If the effort is being made and they are doing their best while they are here with us at school and at home with their practice, then that is what we are expecting right now. They are going to be a little bit behind. That is to be expected from all of us. We can't expect to make up 2 years in 1 year of school. So we are going to continue to analyze those standards, those gaps that they might have in their learning, and we're going to focus on those in small group. We're going to support them with what they need to do well. And then at parent-teacher conferences, your teachers are going to share with you exactly what you can do to make a great impact on their performance at home. So thank you for watching, and please reach out if you have any questions.